Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. We are a show aimed at entrepreneurs, those who have their own business, those who like to own their own business, and those who simply want to live in abundance like a boss. Today, we're talking about love, love, as the Beatles sang. And productivity. What is the connection between love and productivity? We have a really interesting show planned today. If you're new to the show, let me encourage you to go to productivethroughjoy.com. We speak to groups, organizations, and schools about being productive through joy. We also, of course, offer live one-on-one productive through joy consulting. If you're also enjoying the show now, please swipe left or right across your device to invite people to join the conversation. And let's dive in. So today, again, we're talking about love and productivity. Let me first say a few words about myself for those who are new to the show. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show book of the month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called my people, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which will be out, my goodness, in April next month. In bookstores. You can get that everywhere. Look for that in all places. Published by iconic Third World Press, Hakeem Mahaboudi's press, which I'm very excited to be a part of. You can also, what did I just say? Oh, also, I'm the author of the, what did I do? I just said Americas, right? No. Yes. I'm also the author of the founding editor of the International Journal of Literary Nonfiction called The Truth About the Fact, which is based here in Los Angeles, which has a global outreach. You can also, I'm also the former executive director of the World Stage Literary and Jazz Venue here in Los Angeles. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD is in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I'm currently a professor of English Lit at Loyola Marymount University here in California. I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag, but people are oftentimes surprised by my level of productivity given how crazy my own individual personal story is. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption as a single divorcee. When she was 17, but the divorcee was 26, so my mom, and so who was great, and at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet, as Kool Moe famously said, "How you like me now?" Right? And if I can be this productive through joy, so can many of you who are watching this show. In that many ways, that story inspires both our business and this show. We know what it's like to come through hardship. Boy, do we. When you shine, which is great, you're going to, especially in the face of hardship, you're going to certainly attract some, people who support that and support you, and it's amazing. But you will definitely attract some haters, that's for sure. If you're a person of color, especially a black male in particular, because people really aren't accustomed to black people shining in non-traditional ways. And so what you get is a lot of hateration. And so we know what it's like to come through all of that and still shine some more. Come on. Because when you can do it, when we can have that type of success in the face of extraordinary struggle, those of us who also come through struggle are encouraged. And part of our job, part of our agenda is to listen, inspire, and encourage. We believe in this planet. We believe in this planet's people. We want to help people help themselves. So, again, go to productivethroughjoy.com if you're enjoying the show. Also, push that subscribe button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Become a subscriber. Get these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. Holla at me. I'm rapping right now, but not on purpose. Have me come out and speak to your group or organization, or have us come out and speak to your school. Again, swipe left or right across your device. Share this information on your social media platforms. Let people know what's really going on. Again, today we're talking about love and productivity. Also, in the morning show, we like to, because we air each weekday morning at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Facebook Live. Facebook Live. On the morning show, we like to also talk about the importance of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. Whoa. As we know, as adults, we oftentimes wake up with trouble on our mind. If you have kids, especially, you know that of which I speak, because kids will, you love them, but they'll give you a lot of stress. There's no two ways about it. And so we find ourselves going through our day stressed. You know, it's easy to do that, as we know. And so we help, and that's just with our personal life. You know, when you introduce business and having your own business and the stress that comes from that, with the lawsuits and making payroll, I mean, all the things that have to be done. Having a business, especially if it's a newer business, it's a lot to handle. So many people, as an aside, primarily, not primarily, but men in our experience have this issue more so than women. But men entrepreneurs tend to medicate with alcohol. That's the thing that men do. Lots of drinking with entrepreneurs because your stress level is so high. And what ends up happening quite a bit is that these men become successful, but their lives are unhappy because you can't really thrive in the long run and have a healthy family, especially if you're drinking like a fish. And that's what many entrepreneurs do. A lot of heavy drinking among folks in the business world because the stress level is super high. So we help people, we know that because we're around it. So we help people identify a much more effective and long-term approach to stress. We call it a morning ritual through the ideal of a ritual. A ritual can be defined as essentially doing the same thing at around the same time. Let me give you my quick morning ritual to serve as an exemplar. So in the mornings I wake up at 3:30. I read a couple of spiritual or business books. I do our show right now at 4:45 until 5. At 5 I work on my current book for a while longer until sunrise, which is around like 6:15 or so now here in LA. At that time I go to the beach. I live here along the beach here in Venice Beach, California. I walk out, I bring my drum, I meditate, I pray, I do yoga. A bunch of activities on the beach early in the morning. Dawn is just breaking. It's really powerful. It's really beautiful. I come back, I work on my current book for a while longer. I go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier to go, then run all the way back here to my gym, Gold's Gym here in Venice to work on my body, get my body strong and powerful. And so by 9:30, guys, I'm feeling amazing. My body is flooding itself with endorphins. Those endorphins give me a sense of euphoria. That euphoric release gives me, I use that euphoric release to get things done. I'm feeling joyful. You know, when you're feeling good about things, you want to be outside, you want to be you want to get work done, you want to be productive through joy. But in contradistinction, when you're sad, as many of us get, you have the blues, or you have a depressive situation. At times, it's hard to even get out of bed, let alone get some work done. I mean, come on. I just want to, when I'm down, I want to just eat some cookies and lay in bed and sleep. And I'm sure I'm not by myself in that tradition. So, listen, when you're feeling good, though, you want to go out and make your dreams manifest, all right? So, we help entrepreneurs, especially, but really all people trying to make a change in their lives, deal with that because that's a great and very, very practical way to approach life. So, as a part of my morning ritual, I'm reading these 3 books now. I read 2 usually, but one got so good I had to add another book. Or one that I found, I had to add that to the mix. So I'm reading 3 books now. One is called The Nag Hammadi Reader, which is a book of, what is it right here? Bam. A book of kind of ancient spiritual texts. I'm also reading a book called Cash in the Flash. Bam, this book is really good. This book is a mixture of spirituality and business, basically. It's a great book. This book is Own the Moment, which is a book more about attitude, about really owning your moments. Not quite as good, frankly, but it serves its purpose for sure. So from those 3 books, although I read 2 usually, and I replace the books, of course, as I get done reading them, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I am abundance because I love people, including myself, in word and action, right? So I think about that morning chant throughout the day. I place it on my phone. I contemplate that as I'm walking across campus or whatever I'm doing that day, heading to a meeting. Um, and also, I create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that reading. So today we're talking about love and productivity. All right, so let's dive in. Again, if you're enjoying the show, please push that subscriber button here on YouTube. Definitely go to Michael Datcher's. I'm sorry, go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We offer live one-on-one Productive Through Joy, of course, consulting, but we are more well known for our public programs. Um, have me come out and speak to your group or school about being productive through joy. All right, let's dive in, guys. So, as we dive into this discussion about being productive through joy, uh, point one is, I'm sorry, about love and productivity. Point one is you want to think about first and foremost learning to love yourself. Hello, listen, I'm a professor, so I'm around lots of people who are millennials and now more so Gen Z, young people, 18 to 25, 26. And we see just the amount of difficulty young folks of this generation are having. A very, very high anxiety level among this cohort of individuals. Um, a lot of self-love issues, right? And so I'm around this all the time. So I see the need for, especially folks who are millennials, folks who are Gen Zs, to develop a system of self-love. So well, how do you love yourself without? I was going to crack a very bad, inappropriate joke, but I'm not going to do that. How do you love yourself? Well, I gave you part of the one approach, one technology a second ago, which is point two. You want to develop a practice, right? So, and one we help people develop is a morning practice, we call it a morning ritual, um, where you are doing some work on the self. So, for example, I read these books. I read books every morning, spiritual business books. I meditate, I pray, I live at the beach. So I'm on the beach, I run on the beach, I'm in nature. So all these things, I'm investing in myself, right? I'm knowing myself as the ancient Kemetic tradition encouraged people to do is to know thyself, right? Know thyself. Although that phrase is oftentimes ascribed to the Greeks. Wow, talk about cultural appropriation. That particular phrase predates the Greeks by about 5,000 years, but that's a little historical aside. So know that the ancient Egyptians, who called the land Kemet, land of the blacks, they created that phrase, know thyself. That's the primary foundation of their whole spiritual tradition, because they believe that God is everywhere, including inside of yourself. So the point of knowing thyself is to know God. But that's a digression. You want to do some work. We're not saying do what I do. I just gave you my individualized morning ritual. But do something. It could be something as simple as taking a walk in the morning, sitting quietly for 5 minutes. When I first began meditating, I couldn't get beyond, no exaggeration, 5 minutes. I mean, that was hard. Sitting still for 5 minutes, my goodness. Meditating, it took me over a year to get into kind of a vibe where I can meditate. Now, I recently went to a meditation retreat where I was meditating. I meditated probably 8 hours a day in these 2 hour sessions, just straight 2 hours meditation. Take a break, eat, meditate 2 hours, take a break, take a walk. That was intense, and I don't do that every day, of course, because I couldn't get work done. But it was great to have that 3-4 days of just intense meditation. It was amazing, just bam, bam, bam. But I couldn't get beyond literally 5 minutes a while ago, all right, years ago, but still. But that's one way that one can love thyself, is to engage in a spiritual practice, which goes right into point three. As you begin to live a lifestyle of loving yourself, you are not spending your time hating on other people. And as someone who's been hated on a lot, because I shine. When you shine, haters are going to emerge, that's for sure. But I always think, gosh, how do people have time to hate on me or anyone else? Because when you are loving yourself, when you're out pursuing your dreams, A, you're busy. I am too busy to be trying to hate on people. Who has time for that? You know who has time for it? People who don't love themselves. Yeah. People whose lives are not what they want them to be. People who are unhappy. They have a lot of time to hate on other people because their own lives are unfulfilled. That's just my experience of being a hated on individual. And I'm not a victim. I'm just, I can give it back too. I can check too, for sure, and I do. I'm just stating the fact, right? Because we don't see ourselves as victims, but we see ourselves as overcomers, as dreamers who make dreams manifest. And so by loving yourself, you can then love people with more power. In fact, you can love them in word and action. Boom, goes the dynamite. That's it for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. and then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Definitely go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We speak to groups, organizations, and schools about being productive through joy. Have you come out and speak to your group, organization, or school. We also offer live one-on-one productive through joy consulting. Please share this video to people on your social media networks. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.